She really just told me tonight. It's like, she's a fear.
But I don't know.
I haven't really lost my diligence. It seemed like I'll probably
And so I hired her like independent experience. It was actually like a good experience. No, so that's really good side. For the most part,
I remember you were standing there, so I thought maybe it's a reason. My other thank you, Ben. Public service announcement. You can write on the wall. Do whatever you want. Have
Listen to the yeah. Oh yeah, I've done
Hey everyone! Just an FYI, two things. One, we're gonna start soon, but if there's ever not understand what's going on, you can draw on our lovely chalk wall. Item number two, the air conditioning is loud, and so we recommend you move as close to the stage as possible, like second half, like the front half of the house, just because we want you to be able to hear things. But we also don't want to turn the air off because then you won't enjoy yourselves. Great.
Sucking on my titties like you wanted me, calling me all the time like Bonnie. Check out my Chrissy behind, it's fine all of the time. Like sex on the beaches. What else is in the teachers of peaches? Huh, what? Sucking on my titties like you wanted me, calling me all the time like Bonnie. Check out my Chrissy behind, it's fine all of the time. What else is in the teachers of peaches? Like sex on the beaches. Stay in school, cause it's so best. IUD.
Hello, everybody!
I forgot I'm allowed to use a microphone today. Welcome, thank you so much for joining us for Paper Kraine, Do You Queer What I Queer? Our 5th show named in honor of Cameron Jeffs, if you're watching from Alaska. Cameron Jeffs is a co-producer with us who came up with perhaps the greatest pun of all time for the show. So we have just kept it for 5 years and we'll shamelessly reuse it ad nauseum. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a really weird time to be making art. All times are weird times to make art, but this is a particularly fraught couple of months. However, to give you a little bit of history about the show before we get kicked off, my name is Lizzie Lincoln, that is Danny Turner. Back there in the booth is Chris today, Brittany Crowell is your house manager, Paul Irvine is teaching theater to children in the Pacific Northwest, otherwise he would also be here. We are the team of Paper Kraine, a New Works in Development night here at the Kraine Theater, hosted thanks to the beneficence of Frigid New York. Please give it up for Debbie in the bar. You'll see more of Debbie later, that is a pet. We are so excited to have you here. This was created specifically so that artists could donate their time, their talent, and get eyeballs on new work in development so that it can continue to grow. So this was started back in 2016. The second show we had was right after the election. So it was a very, very sad call on the Metro North coming back from when I was teaching. And we had a big conversation about, do we still keep the show? And I think it was Danny at the moment of clarity, like, yeah, we have artists to serve. We keep the show. And the mission pivoted slightly. So every month since then, for 6 years, we have been highlighting a new nonprofit every month. Some we worked with before. This is, I believe, our 3rd or 4th time working with Ali Forney Center. We are here to take your ticket money and also the money you can put into the jar. That is all going to go, 100% of our box office cut and any money that we collect, as well as the money for the thing Debbie's gonna do later, goes to Ali Forney Center. We are so excited, especially as artists, to be able to find a way to give back. And not only give back, but curate lovely houses full of warm, kind people who support new work in development. Truly, this could not happen if there were not butts in seats. That is you. You may feel like, oh, I'm just an audience member. No, you are a vital part of the development process. We're learning shit right now. And in the spirit of learning shit, I'm so pleased to welcome our first act tonight. This is an excerpt from Reuben Gleaser's play, Off We Go. A play that can be roughly summed up as, can you be well in a sick society? What if people are trying to fix you when the way that you are broken is just mirroring the shit that's happening around you? An unfortunately relevant theme. So please welcome the cast of Off We Go. This is going to be a woman talking to some aliens, and some other things will happen. Please enjoy, and as always, support new work. Thank you so much.
That's all our bad. We're doing it live. We're told this is a big freestyle. Sorry.
So part of it.
It's experiential.
Behold, the newest breed of national hero, the cosmonaut. Here is Paulina, the daughter of a farmer and veteran of the Great Patriotic War, who rose from obscurity to top of her class, and the next candidate for the Soviet space program's latest mission. Upon her return, she will have spent 2 hours and 15 minutes in orbit above the Earth, beholding the vast expanse of the cosmos that bear her title. Cosmonaut, will you become the next in this generation of heroes? Will you join your country in the race against the indulgent West? Sign up for the armed forces today!
Well, that was.
Inspiring.
I was going to say.
Inspiring.
Well, it's not. I said so.
It's not trying to be.
It's not trying to be much of anything either.
Your critiques have been noted.
Do you know the director?
Yes. Intimately.
Oh. Oh. Oh, well, then I stand by what I said.
Cow.
No.
I can direct.
Moo. I'm a cow. I have no opinions. Moo. Except that you can't direct. What's the point of this?
You will show this to little Miss Sputnik. Reminder of who she is. She should remember this. It took us days to get her to pose correctly. Show this to her. Let it be her therapy. The committee is of the opinion it might do her good.
This is a bad idea. She's been dissociating. She can no longer connect with the woman she was before her detainment. This may worsen her condition.
Weakness. I hear weakness. Insipid theories from you, and weakness from the national hero. Do you have a match?
Go to the smokers section and tell me, what is the point of bringing her here if not for treatment? Is she simply going to be forgotten unless she suddenly erases herself entirely? All you seem to be doing is trying to turn her into another file flooded by rivers of blackout. She needs to get better.
We want answers and silence, Dr. Benita. Are you sure I can't smoke?
You can't have it both ways. Yes.
In the Soviet Union, we live in a nation where such contradictions are possible. Not just possible, but frequently attained.
And what will you do when you've attained answers in silence?
That is for the Committee of State Security to decide.
And the other one? Zoya?
That is for the Committee of State Security to decide. Do you have a cigarette?
I often wonder about the most difficult of questions. Am I wrong? Has my life's purpose been in service of repetitive circles that never complete themselves? Am I bearing the next generation of deadly cycles? I feel like a rainstorm that floods a plain, except the time the plain can empty. By the time the plain can empty, the rainstorm comes again. Today, I interviewed Paulina about her mood. She described the usual, that she was bored, that she craved a cigarette, chocolate, intimacy. What baffles me is the banality of her repetitions, like a ritual, unless the words is all meaning. Sometimes I listen to her until the drone of her teeth and tongue claw into my skin, and that's where I feel it. I feel where the want for human connection begins to fray and burn, listening to the same dronings, the same solutions, the same problems. How many times can one patient repeat the same problems and continue to not see what she must do to repair herself? How many times can I listen to her parrot herself and her delusions? How many times can I suggest therapies and treatments that fail her? We will attempt an experiment treatment shortly.
Behold, the newest breed of national hero, the cosmonaut. Here is Paulina, the daughter of a farmer and veteran of the Great Patriotic War, who rose from obscurity to top of her class, and the next candidate for the Soviet space program's latest mission. Upon her return, she will have spent 2 hours and 15 minutes in orbit above the Earth, beholding the vast expanse of the cosmos that bear her title. Cosmonaut, will you become the next in this generation of heroes? Will you join your country in the race against the indulgent West? Sign up for the armed forces today!
Do you know about this footage? The director is Noah Eisenstein, but I think it really captures.
That's not me.
What do you mean?
It isn't me. They found an actor.
Polina.
I remember this. Shooting some chains over at the camera. But not this. Did they reshoot? I like this new woman. She doesn't feel like me at all.
I can confirm from the Committee of State Security that this is the original footage.
Is there a mirror I can see?
We have no mirrors in this facility.
Why not?
We worry about patients using the glass to commit suicide.
But I need to see my face.
I can assure you that the woman in this film is you.
I think you're lying.
I told you, the committee.
How on earth can you tell me that the KGB told you the truth?
Am I not trustworthy enough?
No.
This is you. That is your hair and your eyes and your nose. You need to see it.
Then why doesn't she feel like me?
Can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
The extract and sulfur treatments I administered. I know they're painful. How are you feeling right now?
I don't want the treatment anymore.
It's the only proven treatment.
I'm not sick.
If you weren't sick, you wouldn't be
I
here.
am not sick.
I wish nothing more than for that not to be true.
Please don't hurt me again.
Is that what you think I'm doing? Hurting you?
You hurt me every single day. You keep making me repeat myself and think back to what happened to me. And how no one believed me, and how I kept losing everything until even the sand between my fingers felt empty. You hurt me every single day and keep telling me to think on it, to play pretend with myself, to just think. But at what point are you actually going to help me? At what point do you stop talking and ask whether in fact I'm okay? But you're not. Is my friend sick too? Or is she just another gnat caught in vinegar?
The girl? Zoya, do you think she's sick?
She's sick as me.
Your condition is much worse.
It's not a condition.
It's a delusion and overactive imagination on steroids. I'm going to leave you here, and I need you to think things over. Think about what you want. Achieve a version of yourself in your mind and become before.
I have no further statements in my defense. You have not provided a defense of any meaningful substance, pilot. I provided you an account of the events that occurred in spaceflight. This account is a fantasy, a confusing amalgamation of what we can only presume to either be the fabulations of a weaker mind or some kind of air pressure situation. There is damage to my ship. There are burns of your personal failures and damages to a classified launch vehicle. Do not a statement make. Now tell us, pilot, what happened when you finally breached the atmosphere. I witnessed and made contact with extraterrestrial sentient beings that took me into their craft. And I am here in front of you telling you that I saw the potential, the actual potential and the future of humankind. And you just want to sit there and tell me that what happened, that what's recorded on my ship's tapes are false. The tapes yielded no such evidence of your ludicrous statement. I heard them myself. Have you come for me? No. I thought you would come for me. No, we have decided not to. Why? We are not sorry. What did I do? Must there be a reason?
I want to know. There is nothing to know. Was I not good enough? You told me you'd come back. How could you do that to me? I saw everything up there. Heavens, stars, landscapes that no one on earth has ever seen. While we were getting set up for the next piece, I wanted to tell you a little bit about how to work with us. As you see, it's a rough and dirty process. And you might say, how can I get a piece of this rough and dirty process? We love to work with artists. Don't consider yourself an artist? Haven't played piano since high school? Welcome. This is literally something that we were overjoyed to share with someone 3 years ago. We had a lovely person who is usually a performer, dancer, singer, who had not written or composed music in about 10 years. And she decided, you know what? Fuck it. And in that spirit, if you have something that you two would like to say, you know what? Fuck it. This is the place to join us. And how would you do that? I hear you say. Go to paperkraine.com, PAPERKRAINE on your phones, and that is us. There's a submit button. We would love to work with you. We would love to have you support our work in any way that we can. We are always curating new pieces in the spirit of adventurous discovery. If that sounds like you, please come join us. So a little bit about Do You Queer What I Queer? Every month we curate pieces, usually around a certain ideological theme or a topic. This time it is just artists and makers who identify as queer and presenting their work in this space. It has been a joy to do so. And with that, a piece that does need a little bit of introduction. This piece, Aiden Lenahan's Bottom's Bible, does contain nudity and profanity. So please take care of yourselves. That is always the most important thing to do. There is never a moment that you should be like, but what if I leave? It'll be weird. It won't be weird. You know why? You're a part of this process and we're all learning. So with that, please welcome Aiden with Bottom's Bible.
But not in a good way. The other monks kicked me out of the monastery because I'm a bottom. I guess it's okay to be a gay monk, but only if you're a top, because apparently that makes you less gay. But if I didn't present my whole to those top monks, would they even be tops? Eventually, one of them would have to start bottoming if it wasn't for me. So aren't we all just bottoms at heart? And where in the Bible does it say that tops are more important gays than bottom? Need I remind you? You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination, Leviticus 18:22. And in the same way, also the men giving up natural intercourse with women were consumed with passion for one another. Men committed shameless acts with men and received in their own persons the due penalty for their error, Romans 1:27. I think the Bible hates gay people. And not just bottoms. All of us. Equally. Now this is unrelated, but just go with me. Yeah. When she carried on her prostitution openly and exposed her naked body, I turned away from her in disgust, just as I had turned away from her sister. Yet, she became more and more promiscuous as she recalled the days of her youth when she was a prostitute in Egypt. There, she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emission was like that of horses. Ezekiel 23, lines 18 to 21. So the Bible is also against size queens? Look, I'm a small dick, but I would never begrudge anyone their desire for huge donkey cocks. Also, is it just me, or is the Bible sort of anti-sex worker? And anti-women. Yeah. I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over a man. She must be silent. Timothy 2:12. And anti-babies. Happy is he who repays you for what you have done to us. He who seizes your infants and dashes them against the rocks. Psalm Kardashian West 137:9. And anti-witches. Do not allow a sorceress to live. Exodus 22:18. You know, now that I'm no longer under the spell of the other monks, I'm starting to think that the Bible was written by an asshole. Hello, my name is Asshole, and I wrote the Bible. Wipe me. What's that? Wipe me. Oh. Ooh, the Venice. Oh. Hey, Mr. Bottom! Cometh he at the times. The grounds keep testifying he did see thee sunning thy butthole. But hast I told it thee? This constant need to bewray thy butt, like the cat in heat, is certainly a sign of thy impending eternal damnation. Besides, thou shouldest have been gone it by now. I'm sorry. Sorry is not valorous enough. Remember what I did teacheth thee, Hamish. You are deformed. I am deformed. And you're a bottom. And these are crimes for which the world owes little pity. I am thy only friend, yet I still hate thee. Using thy feminine wiles to distract me into song. It's no wonder so many of the other monks transgressed with thee. Thy effeminate nature maketh thee prone to seduction. Femininity and botany, two mortal sins of the same cloth. Anon, turneth round. I will punish thee for thy transgressions. Wait! Don't stop! Not this yond! I have given thee more than enough time to packet thy bags. I am to milketh the cows. If it be true thou art still here at which hour I returneth, thee shall be killed! Now be gone! That guy is an asshole, but maybe I'm not one to talk. Who are you? I'm your asshole. But you've never talked before. I never had any reason to. But earlier you said you wrote the Bible. Is that true? I am one of the authors. What's your name then? My name is Asshole. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be coy. And I really am here to help. Well then, what am I going to do, asshole? Ever since I was a child, I wanted to be a monk. I would get down on my knees and pray to God that one day I would don the robes. But now I'm cast out into the world with no robes, no connections, no prospects. I hate being a bottom. Don't say that. Get your Bible. Your Bible, Hamish. Turn to Psalm 41:9. Read what it says. Even my close friend who I trusted, he who shared meals with me, has turned against me. And whom is that in reference to? Whom? It's about Judas. So what? Even my close friend, whom I trusted, he who shared meals with me, has turned against me, is not the original line. It's not the whole story. Originally, the line read, even my close friend whom I trusted, he who shared meals with me, has turned against me, bent over, spread his cheeks for me, ready to be mounted. But being both bottoms, I bent over, and we touched butts. Don't you see? Jesus and Judas were both bottoms. The greatest hero and the greatest villain in the Bible were both bottoms. Why should I even believe you? You're just a spirit that's possessed my butt. I am one of the first to have committed the Bible to paper. My gift for calligraphy was whispered to me by a firefly. Prove it! I'm used to writing with my hands, but I suppose I can try with your butt cheeks. Will you at least put the writing utensil within my grasp? Oh, be careful. If you stick it in your hole, that's public indecency. Read what it says. It doesn't say anything.
Intermission. But before we do, I told you the show is a little off the cuff. Well, this was abandoned in the dressing room, and we are going to auction it off live in front of your very eyes with audience participation for the pledge of a donation to Alley Forney Center. So, if you've already started, $2. This love aid comforter, it reads, "Thank you, Debbie. This is not ours. We left one of our boxes on top because it didn't fit the cabinets. Best, Martha." This can all be yours! Low price! Let's start debating at Debbie, can you take the stage? Please tip your bartender for what we are about to see. Can we start the bidding at $2, Debbie?
I think $2 sounds good.
$2 bid. All right.
Blanket. It's a great blanket. It has beautiful embroidery. But it's open up and show you what it looks like. Look how pretty!
Ooh,
I know, right? It's so soft, you guys. It might smell a little dusty because it's been in the closet for 3 years.
3 years! $2 right up front! $3! $3 off the bat!
$3.
You got $3 for blanket? $3.
We had $3 right now. Who wants to add another teller?
There it is! Thank you! $4
Anyone else want to get the big blanket?
More
Okay, it's beautiful soft.
Look how big that is! $4.50! Yeah! $4.50 for the blanket!
$4.75!
$5 and 1 penny.
All right,
$7. Oh, someone's jumping. Come on, should we get it up to 10? Who wants to give us $10?
$10 for
$9.99.
$99. All right,
Somebody bid on it.
And with that, Ben, come to the stage and claim your blanket. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for the first half of our show. We will see you after a 10-minute intermission. Please tip your bartender and maybe figure out how to help Ben take the blanket home. Thank you. We'll see you in 10 minutes.
anyone wants to give more money to the Alley Party Center? Red donations, give it $9 for donations. It's
So now if I go I also need to cash. Okay. Bye. Thank you. This is wonderful. I love you. See ya. See you soon. Oh my God, it turns out that way. Say, oh, thanks. I will.
If you need help, just text me.
Welcome back, everybody! Now that we've all gotten to know each other over a shared comforter that I'm sure Ben will let you borrow if you ask. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Buy it for $11.
Hey, for $11 you can share Ben's blanket. Welcome back. We are so pleased to introduce our second half of the show. Before we do, I want to tell you a little bit about our featured charity, the Alley 40 Center. Considering the state of the world we're in, this is one of the best missions that I can possibly think of. The mission of the Alley 40 Center is to protect homeless, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning youths from the harms of homelessness and empower them with the tools needed to be independent. They have been doing so since 2002. If any of you have worked in nonprofits before, you know that keeping a nonprofit going for 20 years is incredibly hard. To be effective for 20 years is incredibly hard. And to be doing that work explicitly to serve gender nonconforming youth and children for 20 years, since before it was a conversation in the normativized, heteronormative zeitgeist, that is really fucking hard. So if you are able, please give financially to Alley 40 Center. If you're not able to give financially, consider other ways that you can reach out. Consider donating your time and energy if you're an artist. We would love to support you in any way we can. And when I say that, I mean that we are supporting new and adventurous work like the ones you just saw, and like Peasant by Katie Shawn. Thank you so much!
Hello there. You seem to be a little lost. Why don't you stroll away with me and I'll tell you a story. The world has changed since I was your age. After the great storm, New York City fell. Infrastructure crumbled and history was buried in the eerie spring sea. Darkness descended, and from that darkness, the meanest and the hungriest control. And that is nothing, not predictable. The fortunate few that survived the storm were put to work. And the rest were fetched the radioactive rat dolphins of the Hooking Swamp to have momentous interspecies peace treaty. Our story begins at Amazon Warehouse Loading Station Nuclear Waste Plant number 3675, where a woman rests after a 27-hour shift, working for the glory of Jeff Bezos' of fairness and economics.
The day is finally finished. The sun has ceased its hellish burn and... Oh, wait! Don't go. Let's spend some time together. Come, let's lay down our loads and share a drink. You're a fresh face, so I will share my Coca-Cola ration with you. Drink your fill. There's plenty for both of us. I've never seen you here before. How old are you? 12? A grown woman, ready to toil in the warehouses for our great leader, Jeff Bezos. A is for always be working. M is for mother is working too. A is for and your dad. Z is for zombified corpses get no days off. O is for or you must report them to the Department of Unending Labor. N is for now stop chanting and get back to work. We're so lucky to have jobs, aren't we? Let me tell you something about myself. Before the Great Storm, Amazon disaster site number 3675 was called New York City, and it was a sight to see.
The ground was flat and smooth, and water ran as freely as the toxic ooze of the Bushwick Lagoon. Anywhere you went, anywhere, you could fill a glass this large with water and drink to your heart's content. Can you imagine such a thing? Well, that was well before your time. As you can see, I'm just a wistful old woman, almost 29. But please indulge me. I have a story I must tell you. I once had a sweetie as tall as a tree who held my hand and smiled down at me. We crossed rivers on trains and we slept through the night until the great storm came and brought a watery blight. It swept away Prospect, it drowned Fort Greene. I was left in Brooklyn and my baby in the city. Now an ocean away from me. But tell him I'm waiting, I cry without end. It's been many long years, but tell him I'm still his girlfriend. But I get awful tired. I fear the end is near. But if I could see my sweetie, death would be sweet to me. So if you see a man and the sun shines on his head, tell him cross the ocean and find home in my bed. Tell him find the one-eyed ferryman with the Free Britney tattoo on his neck. I've been bribing him with batteries to help my love on his trek. Say, cross the Williamsburg trash pits and keep heading west. I'll be standing on the hill at the worker grave pit's crest. And I'll have flowers in my hair. I'll find flowers for my hair. I'll find flowers. Have you ever seen flowers? Smell flowers? Flowing hills of sweet perfume. Why didn't you call me when the water can call me? Like cell towers, did you crumble to dust? I dream of roses, yellow roses. Do you remember our roses? So, if you see a man as strong as can be, with a smile like the sun, who's tall as a tree, tell him I'm waiting, I dream without end. It's been many long years, but tell him I'm still his girlfriend. You like that song, don't you? Promise me you'll sing it everywhere you go, and maybe someday I will hold my
Night falls. Stars shine brighter than ever. When the dashes haze rising from the near swamps. The workwoman clambers into a combination waste container anti-pollution shelter and dreams of her love. I can see Mars glowing red in the sky. They say that Jeff Bezos is almost They say they've almost finished terraforming there. They say that water will flow out of every crack in the ground. Pigeons, run!
That was Peasant. Thank you so much. This is truly an all hands on deck affair. You saw Aiden earlier, seeing him again. Thank you so much for joining us. We have one more act for you this evening. We have been so overjoyed not only to share this time with you, but to share physical, corporeal space after a lot of years of pandemic. Please continue being kind to yourselves, taking care of each other, taking care of your own health needs. If you are feeling up to it, please join us after the show at the Grafton Bar, our home away from home. Please meet artists whose work connected with you. Ask to work with them. Tell them you loved it. Tell them what made you laugh. Tell them what made you think. Thank you so much again for sharing this time and space. And without further ado, I get to sit in the audience for this one. I'm very excited. Human race is not, nor has he ever been an alien from outer space. He's been called the Jack Black of all trades, the Groucho Marx of existential dread, and somebody's uncle. You came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and he's all out of ass. Please welcome Human Race!
Hey there, everybody. Just real quick before I get started, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that you do have one more act to see tonight. The bad news is it is mine. So, my name is Human Race. I am a drag king. I primarily perform in Brooklyn. How many of you have been to a drag show before? How many of you have seen a drag king perform before? That's even better than I thought, to be quite honest. There's a thriving drag king scene in Brooklyn that you all should definitely check out if you have not already. But this is going to be a very draggy type number. It's going to feel like you're in your favorite local bar. Close your eyes, picture you're in Metro. You're in the Rosemont. No, you're not. Don't be in the Rosemont. Somewhere else. But I'm going to walk back this way. You're going to pretend you're seeing me come out onto the nicest bar stage you've ever fucking seen. And we'll get going from there, all right?
Everybody's heard about the
All of the birds died in 1986 due to Reagan killing them and replacing them with spies that are now watching us. The birds work for the bourgeoisie.
We like watching birds, it's a pastime that brings us so much joy. We like watching birds, as we watch them all of the time. From the sparrow to the hawk, robins, green herons, and ducks. Oh yes, we like watching birds, and we'd like for you to watch too. We like watching birds as they watch us back from in the sky. We like watching birds and our neighbor across the street. Eagles, egrets, crows, and gulls soar majestically through the breeze. Oh yes, we like watching birds and stealing chicken bones from the bars. We like Applebee's, we like watching birds. They're so clever and also very cute. We like watching birds and they tell us what they have seen. This one saw a whole bunch of horns. This one saw a white-collar crime. Oh yes, we like watching birds and our bird gods grateful we do. We like watching birds. We like watching birds. We go out to the park every day. We like watching birds, which is good because we have no choice. All the finches, geese, and swans are just messengers of our God. Oh yes, we like watching birds, and those birds like watching you too.
Thank you so much. That is our show, which has ended not with a bang, but with an egg crack. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you at the drop-in after the show. Thank you for your time, for your attention. We love you. Please, genuinely, take care of each other so that we can see you back here for season 7. We'll be back sometime in September or October. See you then. Bye,
Somebody said you got a new friend. Does she love you better